I am beating every N64 game, and I mean all of them. The twist is, the next game I play is randomly selected, so I have no clue what's coming next. This is the journey to beating every N64 game. Game number 174, Aero Fighters Assault. Released in 1997, this game was developed by Paradigm Entertainment and published by Video System. This was a game I had never heard of before, and many people watching the stream hadn't really either. The title gives me a flying game vibe, and the only one I can think of on this console is Star Fox 64. I really don't know much else to say about this game before playing it. I don't have much experience with flying games, and I've definitely never flown a real plane. Hopefully this one isn't super complicated or anything like that. Let's get into it. There was a practice mode for me to get used to the flying. These rings are sure reminding me of Superman 64, or I guess for people who have played it, Pilot Wings. And oh boy, all this spinning around was actually making me feel a bit uneasy. I've never been someone who gets motion sickness from a video game, but something about this was just getting to me a bit. I really had no clue what I was doing, and I blew up. Nice. I'll be honest, this feels a bit different than the Harrier in GTA San Andreas. After crashing once again, I decided, you know what, I don't need practice. I'm a gaming legend. I've got this. The game has a single player story mode, so that's what we'll be doing to beat this game. There are a few pilots you can play as with different types of weapons. Yang seems interesting, as one of his moves is called the Ninja Beam. When you load up for a mission, it shows a clip of your plane being launched out of the aircraft carrier or whatever, and it's pretty cool. Then it gives the intel. The first one is in Tokyo. Someone detonated a thermonuclear bomb in the South Pole, and this has caused Tokyo to completely flood. There's a factory underneath a government building that I need to protect. It also gives some info on the enemies I'll be facing, as well as a couple tips for the mission. So I was in the mission, but I just couldn't find anything. None of my teammates or the enemies. There were just so many HUD elements on screen, and I was overwhelmed. Eventually, I found a submarine thing and decided to blast it with the Ninja Beam. It blew up and there was an explosion, but it looked like it came from my aircraft. After that, I finally ran into an enemy helicopter and shot it with my basic gun and a couple missiles. I just did not have any idea what was going on. I couldn't control my flight, I was struggling to find any enemies, and it was just bad. Out of nowhere, I died, so that's nice. It brought up a screen to continue and said I had 3 credits. I was sort of getting the hang of it now. Like, I at least understood how to aim in the general direction of bad guys and even launch missiles at them. I crashed to die this time, and the entire building just sinks? That's a bit odd. So if you're like me and have never played a game trying to mimic realistic flying controls, this will just feel awful. You don't press left or right to turn. You've got to change your yaw with the C buttons, and the joystick adjusts your roll and pitch. If you don't keep things under control, then you just crash for no reason like this. Still not really knowing what was going on, I managed to beat the mission after destroying a big structure in the water. I'll take it. It gives you a score based on how many things you had left at the end, like special ammo and apparently my teammates that I never saw. With that, it took me into mission 2, the Pacific Ocean. The bad guys are attacking fleets and harbors along the Pacific coast for no real reason. Guess I need to teach them a lesson. So there are all these frigates in the water that are just kinda chilling there. It was taking quite a few shots to take them out, way tankier than anything in the last mission. It was pretty chill. I felt like there wasn't much of a threat, so I could just hang out and blow stuff up. After blowing enough of them up, a massive submarine surfaced. I blasted it with the Ninja Beam, but it wasn't enough. I noticed enemy health was the green bar in the top right. When I respawned, there was a plane behind me shooting missiles. This is supposed to be a dogfight, except I just couldn't do anything about it. It felt like I had no chance. Eventually, a second sub appeared. I didn't have enough to take it out, and I was quite frustrated with getting blasted by planes from behind at this point. I needed something to get away from someone behind me, like, I don't know, a somersault or something. The manual had a section for special maneuvers. One was called the Cobra, but it didn't explain how to do it very well. Pull back on the control stick and push C down. Then pull back on the control stick and push C up. The problem is, it didn't talk about timing for it. This would effectively be lifting the nose up and braking, then lifting the nose up again and accelerating. I couldn't figure it out, so I just went back to the story mode. I picked Hawk this time, who had the Tomahawk as his special. I had to replay mission 1, but at least I knew the target I was aiming for now. I'll take this time to talk about the graphics and audio. The graphics are alright, the planes themselves look pretty good, but things like buildings, the sky, and the water all look pretty plain. It might be fine if the game didn't chug along with a very noticeable lag. I get a lot is happening on screen, but yeah, the audio is quite rough too. The noises of all the shots and missiles sound so compressed, and it's like that guy yelling on Xbox Live into his completely broken mic. There are also voice lines from your teammates similar to the clips you'd hear in Star Fox. I'll be honest, it's a bit hard to find a clip of them talking without tons of other sounds drowning it out. I blamed me losing on Hawk, so I swapped back to Hyane. That ninja beam is just so strong. You only get to use it twice per life though, so it's not perfect. Another reason was I could actually get the somersault or cobra or whatever to work with this guy. This allowed me to finally get the upper hand in a dogfight. An issue I was having though is they just kept launching defense missiles to make mine not able to lock on. It was a bit frustrating feeling like I couldn't hit them. It took a few more deaths, but I managed to take down the main sub, beating mission 2. I fear this game's going to be a rough one. Now it was time for the air battle. The enemy is planning to destroy the entire city of New York, so yeah, we should probably stop them. I had to destroy their flying fortress. This one took place way above the clouds. Their ships were like those stealth bombers in Modern Warfare 2. The fortress was just a much larger version of the stealth bomber. This thing was so tanky. Like, the ninja beam took out maybe 10% of its health? You'd think they'd make their fortress tough to blow up, but geez, this is overkill. I'll be the first to admit, I'm not good at this game. I'm sure some of you watching are like, man, he really sucks. Yeah, I do. But it was at this point someone explained to me how to turn around effectively. If I roll, then lift the nose up, it's a pretty solid way to do it. It can be dangerous if you roll too much, but with this knowledge, I started over once again, hoping I'd do really well on the first 2 missions. I took down mission 1 with just 2 quick ninja beams. No deaths either. I don't know what the heck happened here. Just cause now I knew how to turn doesn't mean I was good at it. Something about these big enemies is the way to damage them is kind of iffy. Sometimes my ninja beam takes tons of health, others it barely hits at all. Alright, into mission 3 again, and my ninja beam did some solid damage to this thing. The problem is, in this mission if you die it regains all its health. It wasn't like that in the other 2, so I'd need to destroy the fortress without dying and with only 2 uses of my special. I tried switching to Volk, who had the fire wave as a special, but it was way less damage. Plus, this guy moves so fast, and I needed to slow down. Then I tried Glenda with the Faye special, and it was the worst of all. The ninja beam felt like my only hope, but I'd need to use regular attacks to have a chance on mission 3. Like, I could slowly chip down the fortress, but these fighter jets just kept taking me out. When there's that crosshair with the red line pointed at your ship, that means someone's shooting at you from behind. Usually I'd die shortly after seeing one of these. So I went back to Hawk and I decided I needed to take out these fighter jets. The mini stealth bombers weren't really doing anything to me. It was just these guys killing me all the time. Not to mention, if my teammates survive longer, maybe they'll help with the fortress. Problem is, it's quite hard to get to them. You've got to keep fighting until they run out of defensive weapons. Admittedly, it's kind of fun to chase one of these guys down when you're the one actually attacking. One thing that helped a lot is I learned if you quit out before getting a game over, you can restart from the current mission. Before, I'd just have to replay the first 2 over again, which really sucked. Since these guys used their defensive weapons, I had to hit them with my basic gun to have a realistic chance at getting them. It was pretty hard to line up, but very satisfying when it worked out. Like, I didn't notice at the time, but the gun doesn't really shoot where the reticle is pointing. You can see my plane is shooting way to the right of it here. It took me some time getting used to realizing where I actually needed to aim to hit people. With all the fighter jets gone, I just had to slowly kill the fortress. Problem is, this mission has a timer. It's kind of weird because the submarine one didn't. I guess they didn't want you having it easy here. Alright, I had my plan now. Kill all the fighter jets as quickly as possible, then hopefully DPS the fortress down in time. With only 2 specials, I needed all the damage I could get from my basic gun and missiles. There was just not a lot of damage output from them though. So the best way I found was to get the lowest speed possible, around 550 knots, and then just unload as many attacks as I could. A weird thing with this game is if you collide with another ship, you don't actually die, you just lose some health. Crashing into the boss is even kind of a speed strat to take another pass rather than spending the time turning around. The green shading on the ship icon in the bottom left is my health. The number is my lives remaining, the big missile my special, and the smaller ones my defensive weapons. It's kind of funny because the manual talks about a move called a rudder reversal where you have to be going less than 400 knots. I learned the difficulty of the game actually affects the speed your jet can go, so only on easy can you go that slow. I'm sure it would be nice because then I'd have way more time to get attacks off. Also, I learned approaching from behind was a good way to deal more damage. The hitbox where I'd actually get hit was quite ambiguous, and this was the best spot I'd found. After over 3 hours of trying this, I had a really close call. The boss had to be under 10% health, and I had around 100 seconds left. While this sucked, it at least proved it was possible for me to win with this method. Oh yeah, I'm skipping ahead a lot here, but if you do want to watch the full playthroughs of these, I have them all uploaded on my VOD channel, Thabeast Plays. Warning, I get very salty at this game though. As if things couldn't get any worse, a fellow N64 challenger, Ace Gamer Sam, who beat all NTSC N64 titles, came to my stream to offer some advice. His tips were good, but one thing was not good. He mentioned how this game has a good and bad ending. Basically, if you get the bad ending, it tells you that you lost and sends you to level 1. The good ending rolls the credits. How do you get the good ending? Well, it turns out there are secret levels. The game and manual mention nothing about these, so I guess you were expected to call Nintendo Power or something to find out back in the day. The first secret mission occurs after the submarine one. To unlock it, I had to be over 18,000 points above the high score for the first 2 missions. The best way I found to do it was kill every enemy without using any special or defensive weapons. It sure takes forever to do, but well, it's needed. It only took me 2 tries. Now I'd unlocked the first secret mission, air docking. I have to land on a flying aircraft carrier to refuel. Literally all you do is fly into this thing where one of the wings has a hole. It takes like 20 seconds. At least it's easy. Finally, 6 hours into this playthrough, I destroyed that stupid fortress. 50 seconds to spare. Man, I'll take it. I never want to see that thing again. So mission 4 is the desert. A place called Bazil is where an enemy tank force is located, trying to stop our space shuttle launch. The storyline in this game sure is great. Oh wait, the place is unnamed. This big tank thing is called Bazil. The strategy here was pretty similar. Just fly towards the tank at the lowest possible speed and unload as many attacks into it as possible until I got too close. It was still debatable whether crashing into it and respawning was faster than just looping around or not. One thing is crashing actually deals a chunk of damage to it too. I don't know, it's just weird how blowing yourself up isn't a death. This thing was so much easier to kill than that flying fortress. I think it kind of looks like those Scorpion tanks in Halo 3. My next mission was supposed to be a bonus one, but it said Fortress instead. Oh boy, here we go. So remember how there are secret conditions to unlock the bonus missions? Well, if you noticed in those clips I was attacking the tank, the sky was dark. Basically, you have to beat all the previous missions fast enough to finish this one before sundown. I don't even know what the time is, but well, I was too slow. Yeah, great, sure, I'll beat that flying fortress again, no problem, oh my god. So yeah, I had to start the entire game all over again because I was apparently too slow. It's actually pretty challenging because you have to get a high score in the first 2 for the first bonus, but apparently you also have to be zooming through them to get the second. Fortunately, it's a cumulative score between the first 2 missions, so what I did is get as many points as possible in mission 1. This allowed me to just fly through the second, and hopefully that'd be fast enough as well. So yeah, I sank the sub in mission 2 again. It only took a few minutes this time. Then I landed my ship to get refueled in the first bonus. All I had to do was destroy that flying fortress once again. I almost got it on the first try. What? No way, dude. Oh, that was going so well. Only got very mad at that. Yeah, it took me like another 3 hours to blow it up. Why is this mission so hard compared to the others? It's just like the others aren't even close in difficulty. I don't understand. Yes. Oh my god, yes. stupid big plane with too much HP. Why did they do this? This time in the desert, it was still daytime. I was on pace for the bonus level. It's absurd how easy this is after that flying level. It only took me 3 tries and the sun was still up. I'd done it and I never had to see that flying thing ever again. So this is the second bonus mission, Shuttle Defense. We're launching a shuttle to investigate a UFO in the solar system. However, the enemy is trying to stop us. This one's very easy. There's only basic enemies and you just have to kill them all in under 5 minutes to prevent the rocket from being destroyed. The spaceship launched without any issues and I'll gladly take a free mission like that. Now we're on to the fortress. We've discovered the main weapons factory for the enemy is beneath a fortress. If we destroy it, they can't rearm their troops. Yep, makes sense. So this mission's pretty chaotic. There's several turrets scattered around the area, and I was just getting shot from all directions. My first goal was to fly around and destroy all these power cell type things. Of course, they have turrets protecting them as well. I would try like strafing left and right to avoid damage as best I could. Now, you may be wondering, is there going to be some gotcha condition for the bonus mission coming up? Thankfully, the third and final bonus is only unlocked by beating the previous 2, so we're good there. My damage was a bit too high on this first attempt, so I reset with the knowledge I'd gained. My strat for this mission for now was to try to take out all the enemy planes as quick as possible so my teammates wouldn't die. Maybe then they'd help with all these turrets. I think chasing an enemy plane down like this is probably the most fun part of the game. There were just so many turrets though, man. It didn't matter. I was taking chip damage left and right and I didn't stand a chance. I learned that my missiles outrange most of the turrets. If I just stayed far enough away, I could take them down safely. Problem is, the mission only allows 15 minutes for completion. It was during this attempt that I located the fortress itself. However, something was wrong. I couldn't shoot it, and I just crashed into seemingly nothing. It turns out there's a force field around it, and that's what those power cells are for. So the goal is destroy the power cells, then the fortress. I could safely take it all down, but the problem was my timer. I was already low, and then I learned the fortress has 1 trillion turrets guarding it. I mean, it makes sense, but come on, can't I just get out of this game? So once you've taken out all the turrets in the surrounding area, this thing is defenseless. Problem is, it has 8 billion HP, and it was taking so long to kill. When you run out of time, the mission doesn't necessarily end. Instead, it changes to infinite time, then the fortress blasts you with a one-hit KO. So that's nice. This time, it only took like 2 hours or so to beat the mission. A nice change of pace. I was so close to the end now. Alright, it's the third and final bonus mission, Goliath Defense. Our flying hangar is called the Goliath and it's at sea waiting for supplies. The enemy's going to attack, so we should probably stop that. Yeah, this one was very easy too. It's just basic enemies flying in and you've got to keep the Goliath's health up, represented by the green bar in the top left. After destroying all the enemies, the Goliath flies off to safety. Well, we're near the end now. Time for Antarctic. I'm not sure what this sentence even means. The Antarctic base is the enemy bridgehead on Earth. Maybe the localization wasn't very good, I don't know. I just have to destroy the enemy aircraft here. Yeah, literally all this is killing these planes. The dogfights were pretty cool now that I'd gotten used to the flying. I wish all the missions were this easy. Next up was the Ice Cave. Apparently Lar has been sent to Earth to destroy all humanity. I have 900 seconds to win before the apocalypse. So suddenly this game is wildly different. Now I'm flying through a tight cave. The hitboxes on these icicles are questionable to say the least. Oh, come on. Love that frame rate when you blow up. But yeah, you're just flying through this cave and there are turrets lined along the walls every now and then. There was one tough area where you had to fly around a pillar thing in the middle of the room to reach the door to the next. I crashed here like twice. So when I got to the end of the tunnel, it took me to this ginormous open room with some blue blob in the middle. Guess this is Lar, so I started shooting. After a couple passes with attacks, the screen flashed and Lar revealed himself. Just a massive eyeball that sure likes to blink. It was sending so many laser beams at me, and I was taking damage fast. Once I hit it a bunch, some arms with magenta lights popped out, and it got even crazier. This game has definitely started to look different than before. I got wrecked, so I reset and try again. The next time around, I made sure to save my special for when the shell was gone. This took a huge chunk of health, and I was feeling pretty good. You know, flying through that narrow tunnel and fighting some floating ice seems really similar to the end of Star Fox 64. Probably a coincidence. I was kind of crushing it and thought this was a free boss. At the end though, the arms retracted and were just launching wave after wave of missiles at me. I got obliterated for more than half my health. Well, nice to know he has like a last ditch phase. For this third go at it, I made sure to save my special for the panic phase or whatever you want to call it. I had him nearly dead in a single burst and I felt like this was the run. And yeah, we did kill him. He explodes in a huge flash and that's the end of Lar. Man, the frame rate when the ship is just casually escaping the tunnel with the bombs behind, it's something. It just kind of abruptly ends out of nowhere and we're on to the true final mission, space. Someone or something named Pandora might be trying to destroy Earth. I have to destroy a flying saucer and a core station to reveal it, or else all humans will be eliminated. So apparently now we're on the moon. The saucer was just chilling in the middle and I was hoping this was going to be an easier one. Occasionally it'd send out these mini flying saucers that acted like the aircraft from other missions. Problem is they were way faster and it was near impossible to shoot them. Unfortunately for me, the thing started moving after a while, so no free kill here. Sometimes it'd like just start flipping around, no idea what's going on with that. It eventually transforms into this three-pronged object that I guess is the core station. It shoots so many projectiles in this form, and I could die in an instant. One thing I haven't really mentioned in this game is autopilot. It's not relevant most of the time, but if you leave the playable area, it kicks in autopilot to force you to turn around. Since this saucer is moving so much, I'd have it kick in often on this mission. I hated this thing. It does a good job turning you around, but then like you're just stuck there unable to move for some reason. Maybe it was like a game balance decision, but it is infuriating not being able to control while you get pelted. Like look at this run. I was near full health and it was below half. But then in that second form, if you mess up at all, you just lose that advantage in an instant. So unfair. After dying several times, I realized I needed to be using my defensive missiles to block most of the attacks. The missiles could be avoided entirely with it. As long as I flew in an arcing pattern to avoid the lasers, I could do it without getting hit. I'd finally dealt enough damage and the core blew up to reveal Pandora. Honestly, it looks like that super old lady from SpongeBob in the episode where they're selling chocolate.
What? What are they selling?
After shooting it once, it blew up in the biggest explosion of all time, and that was the end of that. I got to put in my initials, which who cares? I just won out. And finally, the credits roll as we go back to the Goliath. For getting the true ending, you unlock Spanky the Dolphin to play as. That's pretty cool. Spanky's voice sure is a bit different. But yeah, that's about all there is for this one. Game complete. So yeah, there you have it. My journey to beating Aero Fighters Assault. Oh man, this game sure did some things to me. I'll admit, a lot of my problems with the game are probably because I suck at it. I just don't have the experience in a flight sim style control system. Still though, I had quite a few problems. The game looks pretty decent graphically, but man, it runs so poorly. Like not even during cutscenes, actual gameplay can get incredibly laggy. And since it's a variable lag, you never know when it might happen. The sounds in the game are just all over the place too. Most of the time you just hear loud scratchy noises from all the stuff happening. It's not pleasant at all. I thought the missions were designed decently, but I strongly disagree with that flying fortress in Mission 3. Just way too hard and unforgiving. Once you get the hang of the flying though, fighting other planes is pretty fun. I don't know man, it's just not the game for me. Initially, I gave this game a 0 out of 10 for enjoyability, probably because I was super salty at it. But after making this video, I realized that's unfair, so I changed it to a 3 out of 10 for enjoyability. And I gave it a 9 out of 10 for difficulty. Alright, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. We had a randomized marble race to determine which game was next, so here's how that played out. Or skip to the timestamp on screen to skip straight to the game selection. There are 2 17 games left on the list. Everybody's here. Even World Driver Championship. And I actually want this game because it uses the N64 heart rate monitor. And I happen to have one. Aiden Chronicles, probably 50-hour game. What's it gonna be? Here we go. Alright. The marbles are off FIFA 99, the current early favorite by far. That would just be so fun. Whoa, oh, I thought that was a marble. Alright, who's coming out first? It is FIFA 9. No, Knockout Kings 2000. Sneaking in for the lead. FIFA 99, Armorines, Project Swarm, Mace the Dark Age, Revolt, some other games. Knockout Kings coming down the funnel now. FIFA 99 as well. Armorines coming just behind. Got a couple split paths here. And everybody opting for the left side. Will anybody go for the right? Yes. Wheel of Fortune, Mortal Kombat, Revolt, some Japanese game going for the right side. And Tom and Jerry is down. Tom and Jerry will not be getting played. Doom 64, a pretty solid game. Out of the running, folks. The next Madden game, you'll love to see it. Chameleon Twist in the lead now. Nightmare Creatures not too far behind. And it appears there's a bit of a hold-up here. Nightmare Creatures getting a huge advantage due to that. Now we're coming through this tunnel of hammers and stuff. I don't know what this is, but we'll see who comes out of it first. And it's NBA Courtside 2. No, you Puyo Puyo. Extreme G2, Mesa, Dark Age, California Speed, J-League, Nightmare Creatures, Automobile, Lamborghini, Fox Sports, College Hoops. So many top tier games there, folks. Puyo Puyo. That might actually be pretty hard. NBA Courtside 2, Mace the Dark Age, California Speed. Not a lot of lead changes going on during these conveyors, but we're heading into the superheating section, whatever that means. And we'll see what happens here. Puyo Puyo, NBA Courtside 2, they're coming through. And they're going to go through that thing. And NBA Courtside 2, actually, no, Mace the Dark Age coming out first. Gets a little, oh, nearly falls off, but lands in the second tube. Unbelievable, folks. It looked like Mace the Dark Age was done. Mario Party 2, Buck Bumble is off the cliff, and Mace the Dark Age with a commanding lead. And now so many. There goes GoldenEye. There goes Animal Crossing, South Park, Bomberman. So many games falling off the cliff. And Mace the Dark Age takes the win. I didn't even know this was the end. Mace the Dark Age is what we are playing next. I have no clue what that is. Alright, there you have it. Mace the Dark Age. It has been decided. But yeah, if you're still here watching, you're awesome. Thank you so much. If you had a good time, consider hitting that like button, or maybe even dropping a subscription. Or hey, maybe even watch another one of these videos that's on screen now. And yeah. See you next time.